Awat. Your eyes open to a dark, candlelit room. You hear your granddaughter's voice kind of groan, and you hear what sounds to be bare feet on stone.
Okay, so looking around, what does Awat see?
You see a tomb. You're not quite aware of how you got here. You remember being in a temple. You remember the pain of the blade as it drove itself into your chest. You're now aware of the tightness that is back in your chest from the scarring.
And so Awat will put his hand to where the scar is and just kind of trace along it just to remember, okay, the scar is the same. Whew.
You hear
So
You hear your granddaughter's voice. What? Grandfather? Did it work? And very quickly you hear the pace of bare feet on stone pick up, and eventually you see her kind of leaning over where you seem to be laying. A small smile appears on her face. Oh, good, you're okay.
It works, my dear. As I said, you are amazing.
So I don't know where we are before you even ask.
That was my question. So Awat will kind of sit up in the sarcophagus, I guess it would be.
And she has this very, very concerned look on her face.
Oh, what's the matter?
I remember you. But that's all. I remember something else. I remember bodies in the streets. I remember a group of people, buildings made of silver and glass.
So Awat will hear this and try to picture in his own memory, I suppose. What is she trying to remember?
Are you asking me what she's trying to remember?
Yes.
It would be skyscrapers.
Okay. Okay, so normal Awat at this time would not understand, but Awat now has those memories, yes?
Yes.
Okay. Now there's an interesting situation.
Oh, this is how Mummy works, though, so...
So that's what that feels like. Well,
I can't remember home.
Can I remember home?
You can, yeah. You remember Irem. But
it wasn't that long ago.
but it's also one of those things, you also know the reason you remember it is because you were allowed to remember it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, trying to keep things as consistent as they were, despite having this knowledge, he's going to try his best to play things out as they should happen. So he's not gonna really he's gonna pretend not to have any knowledge on the buildings or Irem because he wouldn't actually remember those at this time. So I I don't know what kind of visions you've had in your sleep, because surely those are such. Perhaps a message of things to come. I cannot say. As for home, now that you mention it, I can't exactly bring that to mind either.
Also, kind of touches the sarcophagus. There's someone in here with us.
Oh, is there another of the chosen, perhaps, or?
No. I feel... It feels like curdled milk.
Ooh. Where?
Awat, you are somewhat capable of feeling Sekhem.
Uh-huh.
That filth feeling returns.
Okay, so this is not a good feeling. So now it's gonna have a hard time trying to play ignorant. Because he knows that feeling.
It isn't too long that the echoes of footsteps can be heard. They're quiet, so they're still a distance off.
Okay.
But they are progressively getting louder.
Is there... Well, there's obviously an exit. Is there just one, or is there a couple?
To the best of your knowledge, this is a single entrance, but you don't know if this place maybe has secrets or anything like that.
Okay. Okay, well, that is certainly an uncomfortable feeling, so Awat is gonna grab her hand. Come, let us make our way out of this place, perhaps out of the perception of whatever that is.
She kind of pulls back for a second and kind of moves over to a far wall. Your eyes hadn't necessarily adjusted to the darkness yet, but now that they've been given a moment, you can see the wall is lined with various bronze implements. They look to be, for the lack of a better word here, they seem to be imitation. Their design is somewhat Iremic, but they're made from bronze instead of iron. So inferior by everybody's standards.
Mm-hmm.
She ends up pulling off what looks to be a sickle blade from the wall. She kind of turns around and she goes, I mean, it's better to have something like this, right?
Something is better than nothing, yes. Unfortunately, I have no skill in such implements, but you know me and my, I have other ways. Come, let us be off.
All right, so are you just booking it, or are you taking a little bit more discernment?
Trying to take a little bit more discernment, yeah.
Roll me dexterity plus stealth.
Stealth, or stealth, there it is. 3 successes, nice.
Eventually, the footsteps fade. It seems like you were able... The labyrinth-like corridors. It seems like you were able to slip down one and get around them. The footsteps begin to fade behind you. It isn't very long before the harsh desert sun hits you as you come out of the ground. This place You know it. Or at least you used to know it. Now the stone buildings, they look like Irem. But the writing, the pictographs, the hieroglyphs, you may not immediately associate them with hieroglyphs, but that's what they are. All pale imitations. As you look around, you see a city off in the distance. Once again, a much less grand successor to Irem. As you look on Egypt, your memory is strong enough of Egypt that you know that is what you're looking at.
Okay. So he'll shield his eyes and look around. So it's like world went backwards after whatever happened. Okay. So
She kind of pauses. Wait, went backwards?
Well, I mean, I feel like this should have been much more, you know? More. I can't put a word to it.
She's gonna roll empathy here. You don't happen to have stats for her, do you?
I do not. I did not actually make her.
That's fine. That's perfectly fine. I didn't expect you to. She looks over. Grandfather, please tell me whatever you know. I honestly, if you can fill in any gaps, please. Because I'm running on nothing here.
Now he's going to reconsider his previous thought of keeping everything as close as he can, or now giving her a helping hand. Maybe he can make the situation better than it was.
I feel like this is an important point.
Yeah.
So, Seth. She goes into the door once you've opened it for her. She takes her place in the line and, waves you to come join her.
Yeah, go and join. And what are you having? I'll get these.
Oh, I was gonna ask you what your poison is, but I'll just do a latte for me, if you would.
Yeah, I'll get two.
She kind of nods. Do you want me to get us a table then, or are these to go?
Your choice.
I've still got a little bit of time to kill, She kind of gestures over to a couple of stools next to the window. I'll just be right over there then.
I'll join you. As soon as they're done, I'll be over myself.
Doesn't take you long. They make the coffees, they hand them over. Currency is exchanged.
And I will sit down and
Roll me a perception check. As you kind of look out the window, you see the street. It is very much just a normal day. The only thing that trips your memory just a wee bit is, for some reason, the traffic light seems to be taking just a little bit longer than usual to change. She takes a sip from her coffee and kind of looks out. So, when you go out and become Indiana Jones, do you ever plan on coming back, or do you just plan on always being out abroad?
I don't know. I think it's too early to decide. Maybe. Who knows? I may end up with my own office in Harvard.
She kind of chuckles. I could see you becoming a professor. She kind of nods as she takes another sip of her drink. Oh,
Hopefully the less stilted.
She does kind of raise her hand. I didn't mean that in a bad way by any stretch. I'm sorry. Sorry about that.
No offense taken.
The chatter continues. Small, very brief subjects at first, and then topics get a little bit deeper. Mentions of family, mentions of friends, hobbies. The sun starts to set a little bit, and she kind of looks down at her watch. Oh crap, we've been here for 2.5 hours. I've missed the first 30 minutes of my class.
God knows. I've done that multiple times.
She kind of looks down at the coffee and she goes, and it's still half full. She kind of, tips it so you can see it.
Also, probably quite cold.
Yeah.
What you have there is a glass of milk.
Yeah, pretty much. She kind of nods. I'm so sorry. And then she kind of she grabs a napkin, she pulls a pen out, and she writes down her phone number and passes it over to you. I really do have to get going. I don't want to miss that class.
Go. I get it. I'll call you soon.
As she exits the coffee shop, does Seth follow?
I think watching, it's...
The memories are slowly becoming more and more clear.
I don't know how it sounds.
Roll me another perception check.
Oh, 4 for 4.
The light that was a little slower to turn has stopped working. It is now doing the flashing. People are doing a 4-way stop. It is about this time that you realize it and you turn your attention back, that you see out of the corner of your eye in your peripheral, you see somebody blow through the light. You hear the tires screech, and you hear that sickening thud.
I'm imagining on the way back to the sort of take the coffee cups back, the latte glasses, of them just falling and shattering in slow motion. It's that perception of time at the moment, and like just in a daze, just going outside.
At this point, I want everybody to make me empathy plus composure.
There's no good roll.
Willpower can be spent if you have it.
Absolutely.
Oh, 1. It was the last one.
Oh, exceptional.
Oh my.
Take a exceptional Or, the inspired condition on empathy. The tragedy of your moment. The sorrow of your moment, Awat. And the desperation of your moment, Edmond. These visions eventually wash away, and where the blood red and the black sands of Duat once stood, golden yellow sands now spread out before you. The ruins that you were so graciously given the chance to see are gone. Instead, in their place are magnificent buildings of sandstone inlaid with gold. The Emmerich writing, fresh and crisp. You have all just appeared in the town square of this particular business district of Irem. A couple of individuals look at you somewhat surprised, but not too surprised. They've seen the sorcerer priests perform many things that would surprise you. So, while obviously the sudden appearance of 3 individuals is a minor shock, people don't question it. They end up going about their day. You do get glances as to your attire, but
are we in the same square?
the same square that you guys were when you blasted the place, yes.
I mean, are all 3 of us in the same
Yes.
spot?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Edmund's gonna look around and is... Well, that's all the desert had for us.
It's not happening yet.
Messing with memories, that's all. That's the fabled.
Awat is a little distracted at the moment.
As is Seth.
Edmund is just
Finding
talking
his-
to an opening. Talking to the air itself here. Is...
I mean, somebody does actually stop and kind of address Edmund. Well, and this is in pure Iremic. Like, not even...
Edmund doesn't speak Arabic. He can't converse with anyone in Arabic.
This person kind of speaks in a language that Edmund doesn't understand. However, I do believe the other 2 can speak Iremic.
Yes.
Well, the desert has a lot of different things for a lot of different people. Maybe you only needed one small thing. And kind of shrugs. And then raises his eyebrow. Is your friend okay? He's looking at me like I'm speaking gibberish.
Oh, he's touched in the head. Don't worry about him.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Sick Man.
He would be
I'll
speaking in
not have to hear
Immer.
that from you.
It's an American. Yeah.
Yep. You can't understand what he's saying.
Wait, how do they know what I'm saying? Wait a second. I hate mummies.
Sick in the head. Take him to one of the Shanati, sorry.
Yes, that's probably what we should be doing. We just came from a long journey to a faraway place. As you could tell by our attire. Tell me, where's he's gonna name a certain clothier that I don't actually have the name of. Is he still here?
Oh, most certainly. Let me kind of point you in the general direction. You speak Emmerich pretty well for being a foreigner, though. I must give you credit.
Oh well, no, I'm not a foreigner. I'm from here. I just came from somewhere else. I went on a journey, picked up these two. This one here, and he gestures to Seth. He actually picked up the language quite well, despite not having all that much experience, in civility.
Many grammatical wrongs, but learning day by week.
I mean, there's many great schools here. You could enroll in one. What the many guilds, they certainly could teach you a thing or two.
Edmond is at this point going to break off. He's just
I make a plan.
Your touched in the head friend is leaving.
We came here for a damn reason. This isn't time for idle chit chat. Let's find what we're looking for and get on with our day. The world's dying, friends. No time to talk about clothing.
Also,
how do you know what we're talking about?
For giggles here.
Oh, wait, sorry. No, don't know anything about clothing.
For giggles here, I'm gonna roll a die. Okay. Go on.
Oh.
Continue about your day.
Oh no. Well, he'll gesture politely to the person they're speaking to. Thank you. We will take him and be on our way.
Now, your Kiefer sense
Yes.
is on fire.
Yes, I figured as much. Everything.
Yeah, pretty much anything of any sort of ritual value. Yeah, basically, you shake a stick in any direction and you're getting a relic. However, the massive temple in the center of Irem certainly draws your eye.
Yeah.
And everybody's eye. It is absolutely massive. It's probably where Edmond's heading because it's gigantic.
Well, Awat will do his best to catch up to Edmond. Probably not very hard.
What's that supposed to mean?
You've got a limp.
Despite Awat's old age.
He still probably can walk.
You two should have a race at some point.
As he gets closer, so it's not within earshot of others, he's gonna kind of drop his voice. Edmond, we can't just walk around willy-nilly.
Why not? It's an illusion, just like before.
This.
Find what it's hiding and be on our way back home.
I'll grab his shoulders. This is not an illusion. We are here in Irem, the city of pillars. There are relics everywhere.
Well, then go grab one. And we can get moving.
First, we need to, look like we belong here. Gesture to your, whatever it is you're wearing.
To look like we belong here if we pick up what we need and leave. They're not gonna miss it. The city blows up from what I understand.
Do you know how to leave?
Figured you'll wander back out into the desert. Worked the last time.
We don't know how long we're going to be here.
Maybe I'll just blow up another wall. That seemed to work too.
I ask you, please do not blow up a wall in Irem. This is my home city. Let us go buy some appropriate clothing, and then we can.
I don't think they accept USD here.
They accept trade. I've told them we've come from a distant place on a journey, so your knickknacks and whatnots, You don't need them.
I don't have anything on me. I only have what I need.
You have things that they've never seen before in their lives, and will never see again.
Oh yes, let me give them a loaded handgun. That sounds like a good idea. Just look down the barrel.
It doesn't have to be the whole thing. Just one of the the bullets. They won't know what to do with that, and it's interesting. Come, he starts dragging him.
Gonna sell us clothing for a shiny rock. Someone without a gun.
They don't know that. That's how purchases are made. You trade a shiny thing for something you need. That is money.
The city was advanced. Where's the... You don't have like a central bank or something? The U.S. founded that in like the 1700s.
We are well before the 1700s.
How's Seth doing here, listening to this conversation?
It was at that. It's the it's that comment. It's a little piece of Seth dies inside as he's there going. Medici, 1397.
Yeah, well, Edmond's American, so he doesn't know anything about European. Doesn't know anything about the Medici families and how they invented banking and finance.
One bank was invented about 500 years before that. We're still before then. Trade is everything we have, and...
Oh, so you're telling me we should stick around and found the bank?
I mean, I think we change history, but... I don't know how time flows here.
Here now,
Sometimes.
it seems to be flowing just fine.
The point is, are we at a point where, I'm getting very hypothetical in my old science fiction days, are we at a point where time exists within a self-contained, isolated moment? This is not the Irem we came from, remember?
I imagine, and this is purely my imagination, mind you, that this is essentially what our masters deal with. Going from point to point and doing whatever it is the judges want them to do in that time.
Might I remind you that we are on task from 0 hour? Am I? Yeah. We're on task from 0 hour to wake them, the mummies, not the judges.
So, let's get what we need.
Right, so let's go snatch some mystical teapot from someone's living room and be on our way, right?
Well, I mean, while that's a fine idea, again, we don't know what the trigger is to return. So I think we should, at the same time as acquiring a relic of a certain potency, if you want to call it that, we would also need to perhaps research ways, not research, study? Try and figure out how we got here, how we can get back. And try and reenact or reactivate those circumstances.
So, I
thought you just told me not to reenact how we got here.
I'm gonna need Awat to give me a resolve plus composure here.
Ooh, okay. Let's see here. Click, unclick, reclick. 2 successes.
A voice echoes through your head.
Oh.
I have opened the way. Go to the temple. The relic is unguarded. But you need to go now.
Okay, all right. He'll put his hand to his forehead. Oh. Did I? I wouldn't recognize that voice because it's the first time I've heard it, right?
Yes. You've heard voices in that way when your granddaughter's awake.
Mm-hmm.
But this was not your granddaughter's voice.
All right, so something just literally told me to go to the temple. He's kind of chuckling as I'm chuckling. I don't know how to explain it.
Well, you don't need to explain it. We'll just go do it.
Yes, time is of the essence.
That's what I've been telling you the whole time.
Yes, you were right. Is that what you want to hear? You were right.
I think he wants it in writing.
Yeah, and write it in English, not this gibberish on the walls, whatever. Yeah.
You know what? I will do that. On our way, I will carve into a wall in English that Seth was right and Elwood was wrong.
Edmond. I mean, you could say I'm
Edmond,
right.
yeah, that's right. Edmond, sorry.
Yeah, very good. I can't wait for the dig team to uncover that and be very confused.
Yes, I was actually just going to mention how confusing that's going to be.
Anyways, yes, we must go to the temple. It is the giant building there in the distance you see.
Never thought I'd say it.
It takes roughly about 30 minutes to get there, ascend the stairs. It seems like this area is mostly cleared right now. Matter of fact, it looks like that this place isn't even open to general public, so to speak. The lanterns are turned down. There's only two things in this room. Outside of seating for what you would assume is some sort of service, but for the size of this room, the seating is very limited. Maybe service for the priests themselves. An altar with what appears to be a piece of parchment on it, which we're going to get to that in a second, Awat. This is going to cause you problems.
Oh.
And one person sitting in a chair, cloth wrapped around their eyes. Now, your Kiefer sense.
Mm.
If you thought it was on fire before, you've just dunked your head into the sun.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's the sun.
And it's actually not just one sun. It's two.
Oh.
One coming from the scroll, and one coming from the blindfolded man.
Okay. Does this man take any note that he's aware of our presence? Or that we can see?
If he's aware, he does not let it be known.
Okay.
Well, they said it was unguarded. Let's get walking. It's an empty room. Can't be too hard to find.
It is not empty.
Okay, look, empty. There's no guards. There's no military. There's no
Yes.
sphinx or something about to drop from the ceiling as he looks up to the ceiling and makes sure there's no sphinx on the ceiling.
Yes, the voice that commanded me did say it was unguarded. So, yes, let us carefully now.
It's
You
on
are
guard.
speaking
Nothing to be
aloud,
careful
you do
about.
realize this. The voice echoes out.
Is
Well, if we trust his own internal monologue, you're not gonna stop us, so...
I mean, who am I to stop anybody? I am just a blind priest.
well, you and I both know you are far more than that.
Edmond is walking forward. He doesn't care.
I am very much exactly what I say I am.
Oh, wait. He answered Edmond, didn't he?
Yes.
Did Edmond understand it?
Yes.
Oh. Oh, well, finally another lad who speaks English lost in time.
I
The
am...
city of the French or something.
I am most certainly not lost in time. I am exactly where I need to be, which is very much something that none of the three of you could say. And he does kind of move his head over, not looking at Seth, but definitely his head would make you assume he somehow has some awareness of your presence. While his eyes may not be looking directly at you, his head definitely points at your direction.
Oh, you're full of surprises.
He stands up. One of you I can barely see. Nothing but a flickering spark. The other two, however. One of you seems to be a lesser one of the Arisen. The other one seems to be a lesser version of myself. I am, of course, more interested in the latter. And he begins to slowly, feeling his way. He does pick up or you do see the stick in his hand, and he starts tapping it, making his way towards you, Seth.
You know what I am just by my presence.
You are a student, just like I am. However, I am much further along than you may ever be. But that's not by any fault of your own. You are not given the same luxuries as I have been.
Being here is probably something of a benefit.
So, the question is why have you three arrived?
I'll keep it short and simple. World's dying. Our time, I don't know what the hell's going on, but world's dying. The funny voices in my colleagues' heads are commanding us to go out into the middle of the desert to find some ruin and find some relic.
Are you going to continue that thought, or are you still going to ponder over it?
The Arisen are key in stopping whatever havoc is being wreaked upon the world at this moment. When we're from.
Well, I mean, we always knew the Arisen were going to play a key role in the history of this world. However, judging by your sorry state, and once again, it's kind of gesturing in Seth's general direction, things have deteriorated much more than anybody could have ever hoped. What about my kind? Who's the Shanti that is your teacher.
I didn't have such a luxury.
That explains quite a lot. And you, weak Arisen. Are you what have become of the Arisen?
No. In fact, actually, as you say, I'm a pale imitation in service to a true Arisen. Normally, I would only be out and about with my master. However, the situation in the far future did not allow for that, and so we are trying to rectify that.
So, you come here seeking the right of return, then? And he kind of makes a gesture with his stick over to the scroll.
Yes, I do believe that is what we have been commanded to acquire.
You do know that'll mean no more Arisen coming from us.
I have it on good faith that was going to happen anyway.
I don't want to know more. Now, you. I fear no matter what I call you, I'm going to have a tone of insult. I apologize. It is not... What should I call you? Sorcerer. How about that? Not a priest, but a sorcerer. Would that suffice?
It's what I've taken to viewing myself. I appreciate the efforts.
Follow me. Do not take this. And then as he kind of gestures where he's going to go, he kind of speaks over his shoulder. Do not take the scroll until I leave. I will make sure you guys get back to where you need to go. I smell the afterlife upon you. I'll send you back there. Not in any sort of threatening way, by the way. I don't plan on killing you or anything like that. I'm sure the three of you would be more than a match for one such as myself.
I will kind of chuckle. You do us a great kindness, but I doubt we could do much against someone of your stature.
Well, if he's anything like that other undead person that attacked us, they're not that hard to put on their ass.
And with that, your leg. He gestures towards your leg. All the strength returns to your leg.
Ooh.
Great, how very kind, but I've already seen the desert performing tricks on me. You're gonna take it away as I'm walking down the stairs, aren't you?
The old ones are the best.
The embers that burn inside you. Pale imitations of life. You yourself are alive, and yet you dabble with the mimicry of life. I've seen things of your nature before. Divine fire coming down from the sky. Some of my kind call things of that nature the principle
Well, I will interrupt you there. I, in truth, do not know the metaphysical lore behind the fire that I grasp. It is simply another aspect of nature, something that can be molded to thine will.
He kind of raises his hand. I'm not honestly that interested in this. I see somebody that is in desperate need of my teaching. Take your object. Find a place to stay for the next few hours, because it will take hours. And he makes a gesture at Seth. It will take hours. I don't have enough time for what I would actually like to do here. But we all have to deal with the hand we're dealt now, don't we?
That's something we can agree on.
So, you two, once I leave, take it, find a place to wait. When I'm finished with him, he'll be back, and you'll have your ticket. And he smirks as he says the word ticket. It kind of twists around. It's almost like he's creating an Iremic word for it. However, Edmond still hears it in just plain English.
Go teach him what you want, and before you leave, you can undo whatever you've done to my leg. I don't want your charity.
He shrugs.
I am master of my fate, not yours.
We are the masters of everyone's fate. You have just finished listening to this week's episode of Mummy the Curse 2nd Edition Final Hours, part of the Domain Gaming's Contagion Anthology, written and told by Wyverian. A special thanks to you, the listener. And if you wish to continue supporting us, subscribe, like, and share. As always, comments are welcome. Until the next chapter, don't stop asking yourself, in the fading memories of this dying world, can we discover a way to survive?